Trump's 2016 campaign trail impressed many partly due to his public disdain for science, including his skepticism of vaccine and his claims that climate change is a hoax made up by China. Many could not imagine that his approach to the presidency would follow the same path, that he would ignore expert knowledge and scientific experience for his own political gain. But the current COVID-19 crisis has proved them wrong. Trump's administration's recent decision to remove Rick Bright, the country's top virus expert amid the height of the public health crisis, has again shocked the science world.
I don't know him. I never met him. I don't want to meet him. But I watched him, and he looks like an angry, disgruntled employee who, frankly, according to some people, didn't do a very good job.
But apparently Bright was not ousted for his angry personality. The scientist who is in charge of developing a COVID-19 vaccine says he was fired for questioning a drug touted by Trump.
This medicine's been tested for many years for malaria and for lupus, so it's been out there. So it's a very strong, powerful medicine, but it doesn't kill people. We have some very good results and some very good tests. What really do we have to lose?
As research unfolds, the answer might be their lives. According to a research done by the Veteran Health Administration in the US, hydroxychloroquine and the related chloroquine have shown little effectiveness in treating COVID-19 patients. It could even increase the risk of death in certain patients.
We need to be truthful with the American people. Americans deserve the truth. The truth must be based on science. We have the world's greatest scientists. Let us lead. Let us speak without fear of retribution.
It was not the first time that Trump has shown his clear disregard for science. The world's most authoritative health organization announced the COVID-19 as the public health emergency of international concern on January the 30th. But Trump has spent the critical window of opportunity downplaying the virus. On February the 25th, Nancy Messonnier, director of the CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, issued a public warning to the country that the virus was almost certainly going to spread among American people. The CDC also urged hospitals and communities to be more prepared for the spread.
We expect we will see community spread in this country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness.
But Trump's first reaction was not to consider whether an epidemic will happen in the US, but to get angry over her comments as the stock market crashed. On the 18-hour plane ride home, Mr. Trump fumed as he watched the stock market crash after Dr. Messonnier's comments. Furious, he called Mr. Azar, raging that Dr. Messonnier has scared people unnecessarily. The New York Times reported Trump's fury.
The president and the White House sent a clear message to scientists in the government. There would be a price for speaking out and speaking up.
It was not only Messonnier who is speaking up. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, has also repeatedly contradicted the president's claims. The grudge broke out when Trump retweeted a call urging Fauci to get fired. The tweet comes after Fauci conceded in a CNN interview that earlier COVID-19 mitigation efforts would have saved more Americans.
If we had, right from the very beginning, shut everything down, it may have been a little bit different.
Interestingly, despite his disdain for science, Trump is never shy in bragging about his scientific knowledge.
I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised if I understand it. Every one of these doctors said, how do you know so much about this? Maybe I have a natural ability. Maybe I should have done that instead of running for president.
Trump's striking boast over his scientific knowledge during a visit to CDC has surprised many, perhaps more when in the next month he suggested injecting disinfectant to kill the virus. The statement has invited mounting criticism from experts and global ridicule. Politics and science are not supposed to be enemies. Faced with a crisis, Scientists look for evidence and provide all kinds of possibilities to bureaucrats for them to make a final decision. But politicians cannot ignore expert advice while in the meantime refuse to take responsibility for the consequences. Jerry Taylor, president of the Niskanen Center, has pointed out why science and hard data cannot have a place in the Trump administration. Scientists tell them inconvenient things, said him. Whether we're talking about the EPA, or we're talking about climate change broadly speaking, or we're talking about the coronavirus, his administration is constantly engaged in magical thinking. Trump does not believe in complexity, or rather he cannot sell a complicated story of a pandemic to his voters. He can only sell confidence and assertion when the election is coming. But the implications could be scary. As Trump keeps firing anyone who disagrees with him, the White House is sinking into Trump's own political machine that crushes America's own credibility. And the answer why America has performed so poorly in the COVID-19 battle may just lie in its long tradition of undermining scientific expertise for political reasons.